Hello Year 1. This is our maths lesson for today. We're going to be learning all about recognising notes. So you had a look at coins yesterday, but as well as using coins when we're spending money, we also use notes. So this is the first one we're going to look at. So have a little look at things that you can see, have a look at the colours. And this note is our £5 note. And you can see the number 5 written in numerals. We call these numerals, and written in words just down here at the bottom as well. If you see a real note, it won't have this on. This says specimen, which means it isn't a real note. We don't want anyone trying to take their maths work to the shops and try and spend it today. This one is £10, and again, it's got these numbers in all these different places. It's got our words here, £10. And then the last one we're going to look at is £20. So think about the colours. Think about what's the same, what's different. If you ask very nicely, your mums and dads might have some notes that they can show you, so you can see what they look like and feel like in real life. And now we're going to have a little look and see if you can remember which note is which. So I'd like you to look and see which you think is the 5, which is the 10, and which is the 20. Let's have a look at this one first. So we can see when we move these, that is our £20 note. Have a little look at this one at the bottom, see if you can remember which note this is. If you said £10, you would be right. And the last one is our £5 note. Now what we're going to do is just have a little look at counting in some of these different numbers. I've left my £5 notes when I was practicing this lesson before. Let's put them back up here. So what we're going to do first of all is to count in 5. So count along with me, please. We've got 5, 10, 15, 20. And now I'd like you to have a think. If I was to make 30, how many more £5 notes would I need? If I was making £30, how many more I would need? Have a little think. Let's have a look. So here we've got 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to move these to this side a little bit. And if I keep counting, I get 25, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. But the question was, how many more did I need? So we needed 2 more. Let's put those back again. Let's try counting in tens this time. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. The question this time is, how many £10 notes did we need to make 100? So again, here's a little bit of thinking time. Let's check how many £10 notes we needed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes, 8, 9, 10 notes. So 10 £10 notes made 100. And let's have a look at 20s. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So this time think, how many £20 notes did we need to make 100? Again, here's some thinking time. And let's check. 1 note, 2, 3, 4, 5. We needed 5 £20 notes to make 100. Have a think next. What number couldn't we make with £20 notes that we could make with £10 notes? So a number that we could make with £10 notes that we couldn't make with £20 notes. So at the moment, I can make £20 with 2 £10 notes or with one of these, so I can make £20. A number I couldn't make would be £30 because it goes 20, 40 and 30 is somewhere in between. And let's do just a little bit more tricky counting. This time I'm going to have a £2 coin for us to start with. So here we've got £2. If I add 10, think what that's going to be altogether. £2 and a £10. You'll be correct if you said 12. If we keep counting up, we went 2, 12, 22, 32, 42, 52, 62. Think what would be next. You'll be right if you said 72. And we're running out of room on our screen. Next would be 82. So that 2 is staying at the end all the time. So as we're making our numbers, if we have 12, that 2 stays there, and we were adding an extra 10 each time. Right, let's look at our next challenge. On your worksheet, you're going to have some explaining and thinking about notes in lots of different ways. Let's have a look at this together. It says, do I have more than £15? So I'd like you to have a bit of thinking time and think how much money is there altogether. And let's have a look. So here we've got a £10 and we've got 2 5s. If we put our £5 notes together, then they're worth £10. And we've got an extra £10 note. So altogether, we've got £20, but that wasn't the question, so let's look back. The question said, do I have more than £15? So we'd say yes, it is more than £15 because altogether 5 and 5 is 10 and another 10 makes 20. And let's have a look at this one. We're going to use our Numicon to help us with this as well. Who has the most money? Explain how you know. So Mo has got a 5 and another 5 and another 5. And then Kat has got 20, which we can make like this. So all together, Mo has got 15 and Kat has got 20. Let's look back at the question. Who has the most money? So we could explain this clearly. Kat has the most money because her £20 note is worth more than Mo's £15 made with the £5 note. So even though Mo's got more notes, Kat actually has the most money. Now your activity today, you have got these sheets which will be available on Show My Homework. We'll just have a little look through so that you know what to do. So it says recognise notes, which is what we've been doing in our lesson. So this first sheet says write the correct value underneath each note. You should be experts at that, all that exploring that we've been doing. If you haven't got a printer, you can just write the answers in your book. So if you just get your squared paper and you can just write number 1 and then write out the values of those notes into your exercise book. Let's scroll down and have a look. Complete the sentences. So A says one of these notes, a £10 note, equals, you've got to think how many of these notes is going to make the same. We've got our balancing sign, our equal sign, so these need to be the same. One of these is the same as how many of those. And the box that's missing is on the other side this time, but it's just the same. So how many of these notes is the same as having 2 of these notes? And you've got missing boxes here, so you need to have a think about a number that could work here and here. But you need to make sure that they are equal. So that is a good challenge, and you're going to have some different answers for that one. So if you want a challenge, maybe think about some of the bigger numbers that you might be able to make. What numbers can you make with this note? Like we did in that first activity, we looked at what numbers you can make with £10 and £20. So have a think. And here, you need to have a go at drawing some of the notes. It doesn't need to be a work of art. You can maybe write the number just in the corner. And again, just write those in your book if you don't have a printer to print those out. And this is the next sheet. So you don't only need to do 2 of the sheets. If you want to do all 3, that's up to you. Otherwise, choose 2 that you're going to complete. There's a table here at the bottom. It says, what's the value? So you need to think the value of this one big clue, it says just here. So everyone should be getting that box saying £20. So this note is worth £20, and you just, it would be a good idea to pause this here and then complete your worksheets. And then I'm going to talk about the maths challenges, and we'll also go through the answers for the first worksheets that you've completed. So if you would like an extra challenge, then these are the 3 different ones that we've got for today. This one says, I spent 42 pence at the pirate shop. What combinations of items could I have bought? So could they have bought 2 maps and something else? How many hooks might they be able to buy? And what might they need to make it up to 42 pence? So you need to think of different combinations of items. There's also a little bit extra. What item must I have bought at least one of? So would it be possible to make 42 pence without buying this particular item? Which item must they have bought? Let's have a little think about that one. Next one says 2 shirts cost £12. And you need to think about how much 5 shirts would cost. If 2 cost £12, how much would it cost to buy 5? And last of all, this one is quite challenging. You've got some items here that cost different amounts of money. £3, £9.50. The next box says, what's the smallest note you could pay with? Could you pay for something that costs £3 with a £5 note? Which is the smallest one you could pay with? And then even trickier is how much change you would get. So that is really quite challenging for year 1. So have a little go at that if you think that would be good for you to practice. So what size note you could use and how much change would you get? And again, it would be good to pause here just before we look at the answers, and then you can mark your work and see how you've got on. Welcome back, everybody. Here are our answers for the worksheets. So you can give yourself a tick to see how you've done. So our first note, I think everybody's going to get this, £10, £5 and £20. Number 2, one £10 note is the same as 2 £5 notes. One £20 note is the same as 2 £10 notes. And this one you might have some different answers for, but one possible answer, 4 £5 notes, 4 5s are 20. So 4 £5 make 20. And then again, everyone's going to have something slightly different for here with your pictures. So you could have had a 20 and a 10. You might have had 3 10s. You could have even had some 5s. You could have had 6 5s. So try counting up in your numbers just to check you're correct for these. For 25, it could have been a 20 and a 5. You might have had 5 5s. You might have had 2 10s and a 5. If you're not sure if you got it right, maybe just ask a grown-up to check, because everybody's going to have slightly different answers for that one. And then here, for the £20 notes, there were 5 of them. There were 7 £5 notes and 6 £10 notes. So when you counted them all, you could see that there were 18 notes altogether. And it says there were 2 more £5 notes than £20 notes. Let's check that. So there were 7 £5 notes, 5 £20 notes. So there were 2 more. 7 is 2 more than 5. And here there is 1 fewer £20 note than £10 notes. 6 is 1 fewer than 7. So do read those carefully. Make sure you've understood that mathematical language. And then here, these answers aren't on, but I'll go through it with you. So you should have had 1 £10 note. 3 £10 notes makes 30. 5, 10, 15. 3 £5 notes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All of those. And then 10. Oh, actually, no, they're £20 notes. That almost caught me out. 2 of those. 2 20s makes 40. For £20, you should have 4 £5 notes. And then for 25, you need to have, there's a mixture here, so look really carefully. 2 £10 notes and a £5 note. And for 50 at the bottom, then you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 £10 notes. And that's us just out of time for our recording, so I hope you all did really well. with all of your maths work today. Well done for working